Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Stan Gross. I'm the president and co-founder of SANO Global Nutrition. Love to speak with you today about our newest flagship product, Rejuvenate 1. And this is predominantly for our wellness coaches and our participating physicians, but we welcome anyone who wishes to view the materials and see if it's of interest to them. This has really been a fun journey bringing this product to market. And you'll find out why it's been such a tremendous success. So, what's the purpose of Rejuvenate 1? How does it work inside the body? And who can benefit from it the most? Well, let's find out. I don't know if you remember from high school, but there's this thing called the Krebs cycle. And what it is, it's a biochemical analysis of how specific micronutrients are used to produce energy in the cell. And the ultimate energy in the cell is measured in something called ATP. Well, ATP is currency. It's how the cell exerts energy. So, how does that work? Well, when we're younger, we can do all kinds of things, right? We can go all day long, go to school, or if we're not in school, we can be in sports. We can do whatever all day long. Very seldom get tired, maybe thirsty at the worst. And then that evening, hang out with our friends and party and do whatever, and do it all again the next day. But somewhere in our late 20s, early 30s, that becomes more difficult. And somewhere in our 50s, it's practically impossible. So, having said that, we have to find a way to increase ATP in people who need it the most, and that is people my age, for instance. So we're looking at mitochondria here. We're looking at how information regarding the cell, RNA, DNA, cellular waste, everything is transferred by the mitochondria. Mitochondria are the connecting communicators between one cell and the next. And it repeats over and over and over again. So, in my estimation, what has to happen, we need to protect, absolutely protect the mitochondria and the cell itself, because as it becomes damaged, the information, the RNA and DNA, becomes compromised as well. So we need to make sure that that's working properly, and it takes energy for that to happen. The life and the strength of the cell is very dependent upon the level of ATP. So when we have more old cells than new cells, we call that aging. When we have more new cells than old cells, we call that youth. We're not going to get rid of aging, but we're going to slow that process down as much as we can. To break down that system, that's what we call aging, right? And for some, that process happens far too quickly. And we're seeing young people age prematurely, don't we? We're starting to see a lot more age-related compromises, age-related illnesses, osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, wear and tear things that should not be there until the 50s and 60s are showing up in their 20s. Aging is a natural progression of life. Disease or disease is a disruption of life. And it all begins with the smallest common denominator. Our chromosomes, the basic information of who we are, requires a constant source of consistent energy, because we're in a constant state of adaptation. We're exposed to all kinds of stressors or environmental things, the air we breathe, the food we take in, the water we drink. But there's also mental and emotional aspects that cause us to suffer cellular aging. The energetic process extends as deeply as chromosomal levels, where the blueprint of who we are and how well we function is determined. So what we're trying to do then is establish a means of maintaining as high a level as possible of cellular energy. Make sense? And even if something goes wrong, and it will, we all get sick, we're all exposed to viruses, bacteria, we're all exposed to different problems, even some genetic problems that raise their ugly head at times. Our cellular matrix is vital to sustaining and overcoming these processes. Just because you have a genetic tendency doesn't mean you're going to express that gene. And as long as the energy of the body and the energy on that cellular level remains high, there's an excellent chance that negative or aberrant genetic expression can be held in check. Why is ATP production so important? It has to do with sustaining quality of life. Maybe not necessarily quantity. I mean, even my healthiest patient in my office could get struck by lightning or hit by a truck. When your number is up, it's up. That's not it. It's quality. It's always going to be about quality. So we've said before that ATP is the energy currency. If you run out of ATP, you start running on other forms of inferior energy. You will not remain healthy when you burn out of ATP. Would you like a good example? Grab 10 pounds, like a 10-pound dumbbell, and start doing bicep curls. Oh, do 15, maybe 20. Do them slowly. Take your time. You'll start to feel a burn somewhere around 8 or 9. Somewhere around 15, it's really, really going to burn. Okay, keep going. Let's go to 20. Okay, now you've gotten to 20, and that bicep feels like it's on fire because you've spent all of the ATP. Now you're in lactic acid cycle. Now you're burning up reserves, and you're probably burning your own protein at this particular point. You're not doing yourself any favors by going too much further. That happens systemically in your body at all times. You don't sense it. You don't feel the burn when your adrenals are overtaxed. You don't feel the burn when your pancreas is overtaxed, but it happens. So you have to give it appropriate fuel, and you have to give it appropriate rest. So how can I produce more ATP? Well, research shows that if you go through calorie deprivation, you can naturally increase ATP production. And what that does, the sirtuin proteins, the sirtuin genes, sirtuin 1 and 2, that meant that the mice live longer, sometimes 30, 40% longer than those who are eating the normal average intake of calories. You know, there's a problem with that, though. If you start telling people they have to deprive themselves of calories, they're not very compliant. So sirtuin genes have been intrinsically linked to longevity. ATP is vital to activation of SIRT proteins. If you maintain high levels of ATP, and along with that, maintain a high quality of activity and exercise and a very healthy diet, guess what? Your ATP levels will be maintained. Problem is, most of us don't do that, do we? We just don't. Resveratrol got a lot of press because it was shown to increase ATP and trigger sirtuin activity. That's great, except it didn't last very long. It had short duration. And it took so much of it in order to have specific and long-standing sirtuin-1, sirtuin reaction. You had to drink maybe 6, 7, or 8 bottles, not glasses, bottles of wine. You know, it seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? Dr. Leonard Durante, he's an MIT professor, and he's one of the people who discovered Niagen, which is nicotinamide riboside. It's shown great promise in clinical trials for an anti-aging type of substance, natural, by the way, and it also increased what? ATP production. That's wonderful. Except there was one problem. The effects. It wasn't sustained very well. At the most 4 hours in some clinical trials. And his company continues to work toward increasing the efficiency of that. But guess what? We've already done it. Nicotinamide adenosine diribonucleic acid, or nicotinamide riboside, along with L-arginine, L-citrulline, and creatine phosphate. That's what Rejuvenate 1 is. Yeah, well, Doc, you've given away your formula. Now anyone can do it. Really? I don't think so. Because now they have to be able to describe in detail how it works, and I don't think they can. So we feel very comfortable not only with our formula the way it stands, but also how well it has worked, because since introducing this product to the public, we have seen outrageous results in increased energy concentration, increased lean body mass, reduction of a lot of degenerative processes. Is it a cure-all? No, but is it a tremendous help in maintaining high quality? Absolutely. That's great news. Well, what does it mean for me? Well, the sustained energy you need to maintain a more youthful expression of energy, that's going to be available to you now. It doesn't require drinking bottles upon bottles of wine. It doesn't require denying yourself calories and putting yourself on a starvation diet. It doesn't require you placing yourself on a strictly rigid regime of daily strenuous exercise. Exercise is important. But what this does, it increases ATP production with you making mild modifications in your lifestyle. Isn't that wonderful? That means you get deeper, more restful sleep. Oh, so many of us need that. More effective weight management, because your metabolic rate goes up. Your basal metabolic rate plus your metabolism of proteins, fats, carbohydrates in their most basic form. Oxygen metabolism. Everything goes up. You go back to that time when you were younger and you could eat anything you want, never gain an ounce. That's possible with this. It takes steps to achieve that and takes time to get there. But that's the goal. More efficient pathway to develop more muscle and less fat. Lean body mass development, that's particularly important once you get past age 40 or 50. Here's why. We start losing muscle as we age. Sarcopenia it's called. So this is the interesting part. As you take this, I'm 63, and I've been on it for about 15 weeks, and I've seen dramatic differences in my muscle development. I'm very, very pleased with how well things have turned out. For you don't have other striking health issues as I think that for most people, they'll see those changes in a much shorter period of time. I look forward to hearing about your progress. increase alertness and mental clarity. A lot of people feel like they can't remember, keep track of their thoughts or their train of thought for the most part. But that does come with aging too. Why? Because we lack the energy in the brain to sustain concentration, to sustain focus. Rejuvenate 1 restores that process. Enhances your immune function. One of the most energy-consuming processes in the body is our immune system, because it's constantly at work, constantly fighting things that invade the body, whether it's virus, bacteria, whether it's development of cancer, whether it's fungus, whether it's whatever, degeneration. Any inflammatory process that goes on in the body is typically a response to what? Debridement and balance of the immune response, whether it's standard immunity or autoimmunity. Increasing ATP production helps not only sustain a healthy immune system, but also regulate the inflammatory process associated with degeneration. Bringing life to your years as well as years to your life, you bet. Yeah, you're going to have to eat healthy. You're going to have to do that anyway. But now, why not benefit and take full advantage of the positive changes you're making in yourself? I think it's a smart move. Combined with healthy lifestyle and good eating, good activity, good mental activity, exercise, all of these things will be enhanced in how they affect you when you take Rejuvenate 1. You're going to have to make exercise a part of your life for the rest of your life. And the older you get, the more profound that becomes. It's just a part of it. Think of it this way, will you? It's real simple. As you grow older, you have to think in more youthful terms. When you were a little kid, you couldn't wait to play. And if you're in school and you were told it was Saturday, you felt fabulous. Why? That meant you got to play that day. You got to have fun. I want you to think of exercise as play. I want you to think of being part of your lifestyle is to go out and have fun. And if you'll do that and incorporate that into your life, you will see a higher quality in your life that you have not felt since you were young. Take Rejuvenate 1 and that process will be much simpler. And lots of healthful rest. Yeah, not restlessness. I want you to get some sleep, but not just sleep. I want you to be able to take time, take in a deep breath, and enjoy and be grateful for the many things you've been given. We're too stressed out. We're too involved in the race and not in the view. So take time to enjoy what you've been given. Managing your stress. I don't care what's driving you crazy. If it's physical stress, mental, emotional stress, if it's your job, your relationship, most of those stressful issues are what? They're self-inflicted problems, things that you can fix. Maybe a little drastic. You may have to tell your boss you're going in a different direction as you walk out the door. You may have to tell your spouse, I want you to be nicer to me, or I'm going to find somebody who will be nicer to me. And we need to talk about this. We need to fix it. Your children, if they're not listening to you, not paying attention, not respecting you, let them know that it's affecting you physically, that it's affecting you harmfully. Demand respect, demand the things that will help you reduce your stress. It just has to happen. It's killing you. Rejuvenate 1 was formulated to restore youthful vigor, enhance your immune system, and allow you the opportunity to have the highest quality of life. That's the goal with everything we formulated thus far, but this product in particular has been just so effective in just the shortest period of time. Very, very happy with the results we've seen. So do you have any questions? Well, you can reach me at Dr. Stan at sanoglobalnutrition.com, and I'd be delighted to answer any and all of your questions. Hope you've enjoyed this. Please give it a try, share your results with others, and let's make this a better place for all of us. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.